Hello, everyone. This is Claire DentalToaster. We have Jamie Dooley here. She's one of us, follow RDH, and she is an awesome life coach. And I'm very excited to have her here today because we're going to talk about a lot of super inspiring things. New Year's is coming, and even if you're listening when it's not New Year's, her messages and her coaching really has helped hundreds and thousands of lives. So let me introduce you Jamie. I'm going to read her bio really quickly. So she's a certified life coach who specializes in program development and written goal settings. It's called the manifesto writing. She's the founding director of the National Network of Healthcare Hygienists, so NNHH, and she coaches dental professionals toward inspired action through clarity and authenticity in their careers and lives. Her big, hairy, audacious goal is to have an RDH working in every healthcare system in the US by 2025 and to bridge the medical dental divide. And welcome, Jamie.
Thank you, Claire. I'm so honored to be here.
Great. I mean, your story is crazy because you were an RDH, practicing dental hygienist, and now you are coaching hygienists, dental professionals, and other people out there to just become their better selves.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. I kind of fell into it, and I literally wake up every morning and want to pinch myself because I can't believe this is my life.
How long did it take you to get there?
Well, about 10 years ago, a lot of my patients started asking me to meet in between prophies, and I wasn't really sure what they meant, but I realized that I had a gift for listening and for asking questions, which is really what coaching is all about, especially life coaching, asking people questions nobody else asks them. So I fell into it 10 years ago, took a break, got my bachelor's degree, went into public health, and now I'm back.
Wow. And this is just a different way to really care for your patients or for this dental community as well.
You know, the way that I look at it is I miss patient care. I miss direct patient care, but my body couldn't do it anymore. And so I am now taking care of the people that are taking care of the patients. So my impact is actually bigger, and hygienists need somebody to take care of them. So that's the way that I look at it.
Right. And, you know, I've met Jamie in person. I mean, she has this awesome vibe as well. What I also love is in your course, because Jamie has a course with us, is called the Create Work-Life Balance with the 30-Day Manifesto. She has an awesome, soothing voice. I think that also plays in, like, you know, you helping people. I was just stuck there listening to your course. So I really appreciate that as well. And there are hundreds of thousands of other people who've taken your course and your coaching, right?
Yeah. I feel really blessed to have the impact that I'm having right now. And I do hear that a lot about my voice, which it's funny because one of my main blocks to doing all this live stuff has been my voice. So it's kind of fun. You know, we create these crazy things in our head. So thank you for saying that.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So, you know, I would love to just share a real story from an actual real student of yours, right? She took your manifesto, she took your personal coaching as well, right? And yeah, I just wanted to have everybody just, you know, listen to this video first.
Tell you about my experience coaching with Jamie Dooley. First, why did I take personal development courses at RDH? Well, I always wanted to advance my career, but I wasn't sure exactly how, and I didn't want to go a normal route. So I wanted to take this course to learn exactly about what I should do for my next steps and how to proceed with achieving my dreams. Next, what did I learn? I learned so much from Jamie, and the best part was that I learned about myself. And by simply unlocking the things that I already had held within me, I was able to achieve so much more. You never know what you can learn about yourself until you have someone that's able to guide you to do that. And my life has changed immensely since I did my first 30-day manifesto with Jamie Dooley. And in those days, I've achieved my wildest dreams in such a short period of time. I've been able to fly around the country, meet like-minded professionals, speak on my passion, stress management, dentistry, all in less than a year from working with Jamie. It's been an amazing experience. I've met the best friends of my life, and I would encourage anybody to do the same thing.
All right, so that was Sarah. And that's
Yes,
how you
Sarah
change
Clark.
people's life. Sarah Clark. We're very thankful for, have her share the video, her real testimonial. Yeah. And, I just wanted to direct our users to your website as well. It's just called Jamie Dooley. So JamieDooley.com.
Yes.
Okay, great. And here, there's a lot of your services, your testimonials, your contact info, where you speak and things like that. Great. Right. So, the first question I really want to ask you is, why do we get stuck? Why do we get stuck and feel like we are not achieving what our goals and dreams?
Because as healthcare professionals, we are taking care of everybody else. And we spend all day at work giving and giving and giving.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we get home, we usually have families or pets or a home or something else to attend to. And then by the time we have a moment to think about ourselves, we're really too tired to do any tough inner work. And so we live reactively versus proactively. And I designed 30-day manifesto for my own use. This started as me just trying to organize my thoughts and figure out what I really wanted out of life and hold myself accountable to get there. I figured if I had it written down and I could measure it, because I like statistics, if I could measure it, I could figure out whether I was on track or not. And so now I teach it.
I see. You actually have a really good point here, is that, I actually never thought about this. So we are not achieving our goals because we're so focused on our patients and other people we have to serve, whether it's our family or patients or, other things we care about. But then what about us?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Self-care is essential. It is not selfish. Your cup, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Your cup has to run over in order to be able to effectively care for your patients.
I see.
And so you're going to become a better provider by first making sure that you are happy, healthy, and successful on your own, personally.
And that is so true. Well, thanks for sharing that. It's actually just even like awakening moment for me. It's like, there's so much to care about. I mean, even me too in my business, there's just people out there. But then if I am not, that full cup, how can I bring this energy to others? All right. And the second part you said is that measuring it, right? So we cannot just think about it. It's like a weight loss goal, maybe. Like, you want to achieve this, how you're going to do it. And then you look back and say, did I accomplish this? Yes or no, and why?
Right. So this is actually version 3.0 that we're putting out, and I have perfected my manifesto writing techniques. I've trademarked something called the stamp method.
Awesome.
So it's similar to a SMART goal, but I have some tweaks in there, my special secret sauce that I add to my manifesto that I teach, and that way you have a higher chance of success.
Okay, great. So we're talking about now the 30-day manifesto, create your work-life balance in DentalToaster, that you have published. And now let's talk about what is even this manifesto. What does that even mean?
So a manifesto is just a public declaration. So the Declaration of Independence is a manifesto. If you've ever written a sticky note, you've written a manifesto. It's just something you're planning on doing. That's all it is.
Okay.
So it's a written goal sheet. I have an article here from Michigan State University. They published back in 2014, and it says 76% of participants who wrote down their goals and action steps and provided weekly progress to a friend successfully reached their goals, which is why we speak weekly in coaching, because I'm asking, hey, what'd you do about this thing that we talked about last week? So it's only 43% for those that had a goal in their head and didn't write it down. That's dramatic.
Oh, I see. All right. So just the power of writing it and sharing it. That's you really are trying to teach us. And again, you perfected it because you coached hundreds and thousands of people out there doing that.
Yes, absolutely. The other thing that I have provided is a free Facebook support group as a bonus, so that you can either share your entire manifesto, which many people do, it's not required, or you can find an accountability buddy in there if you're a little bit of a private person, and then you can share with them. So if you don't hire a coach like Sarah or I, you can absolutely just have an accountability buddy to keep you on track.
I see. So the first step is writing it, using the system to really have it, in a way that you can look back and, live that life and then have someone, at least one person to be,
Yes.
to do it with. Do you prefer that person also having a manifesto, or can it be my parent, or can it be my sister if she doesn't have a manifesto?
It can be anyone, but the beautiful thing about the support group is we're all on the same journey and we understand the language. So my tribe is starting to notice that I use the same language often, and so you won't have to explain things because people will already know what you're talking about. So that community that we've created has been really great.
And what is the Facebook group called?
It's called 30-Day Manifesto Support Group.
I see. And is it closed right now for those who do the 30-day?
It is, correct. So that we can maintain some privacy, because some people are vulnerable and they're sharing their entire manifesto. They're sharing what their ideal life would look like and what they're working toward.
I see. All right. Well, sounds great. I think everybody should join that group as well. Is there a good point in your life that you should do this?
I think that anytime that you want to make a big change, this really can help. So I do this at the end of the year. This is always my New Year's Day writing assignment. So I spend December really going through the process. There's 4 steps in my process, and December is usually where I'm clearing the past and I start fresh.
I see. And any big change, such as even like buying a new house or moving to a new job or trying to get a new job, all of those can be stopped.
Or anytime you're just feeling the blahs, you're just kind of feeling uninspired. And it's you're not in alignment with your highest self, your authentic self. You're just living life for other people, and you just have forgotten that you matter too.
I see. Great. Well, I just want to take our users then to actually your course, just to have an idea what it is and the awesome worksheets that you put together, if you don't mind. So here, I'm already in DentalToaster, and you can see there's an introduction from you. And then it's divided into 4 modules, right? So those are supposed to be 1 week each. So module 1 would be week 1, module 2 would be week 2, and so forth.
Yes, so you can do this as quickly or as slowly as you desire. The way that I have it set is that you listen, you learn, you do the exercise, but you have a full week to really ask yourself if you're dreaming big enough. Are you really writing down what you want, and are you really connecting with your authentic self? Or are you still living from a place of fear? Are you still living from a place of lack? Are you still trying to make someone else happy, like your parents or your spouse? So it takes time. It's a process.
Okay, great. So it seems like you just go through it on your own time, however fast or slow, but then give yourself enough time, though, to think about what you have said compared with the exercises that go along.
Correct. Mindfulness is everything, and we just don't take the time to practice it.
I see. Great. And I just happened to stop on this slide, which is the monkey thoughts. Can we talk about it for a little bit?
Sure. So, people call the thoughts in our heads different things, but I've always called it monkey mind, because I think it's so silly. We aren't the thoughts, we're the thinker of our thoughts. Deepak Chopra said that, and it's so true. We forget sometimes that we are the ones thinking the thoughts, therefore we can change them. And I take it a step further and teach people that you are also not your emotions. You get to choose your emotions, but you have to do so consciously.
Great. So those are the things that you teach us throughout the entire course, and also just overcoming fear. So, here, for example, is that there's a reason why you have those fears, and you help the user go into the journey of discovery.
Yes. So our fears protect us from that thing happening to us again. But what I have found, and what the people that have done 30-Day Manifesto have found, is that by removing those fears and telling your wounded child, go in time out, give mommy a break kind of thing, you can actually start living again without being so fear-based. When we live from a place of fear, we are really not living from a place of authenticity. And this can be impactful even in your daily hygiene life. I remember being so afraid to say what I needed or what I was thinking to an office manager or an employer, and I was the only one I was damaging. It really helps you be brave enough to take some risks and use your voice.
Great. And the whole module 1 is about the titles, learn how to put the past behind you, feel gratitude for your current state. So it's just putting,
Yes.
and then so we can move on to the next steps, which really is trying to find your ideal life. And this is paired with an exercise. So this PDF, anybody can download it who takes the course, and it is clearing the past. So you tell them to write down the hurdles here, probably the mistakes.
Yep. Anything from the past that they're ready to let go of. It can be a relationship that was painful. It can be a memory. It can be extra weight, extra fat, which I always write down at the new year. So it really is about clearing your past, figuring out what might be holding you back and letting it go. Because in order to go from being reactive to proactive, you cannot be living in the past. I help people with gratitude start feeling gratitude for the present and living in the present, and then we plan the future, which is proactive.
Okay, great. And you even say destroy this paper now because it needs to go.
Yes. So if you do it double-sided, you're going to end up destroying your gratitude list as well. So that's why I always print them on 2 pieces of paper.
Okay, great. So this is, be present and be grateful for it. And then you move on to module 2. So the title is Create Your Ideal Life, Gain Better Self-Awareness. And just briefly, what is this module 2 about?
Module 2 starts with figuring out what you don't want. That is the place that most people need to start. If you've done a lot of inner work or self-help work in the past, you might be able to start with what you want. And then we just go a little bit deeper. Ask people to really figure out, what do you want? If money was not a barrier and you could not fail, what would you want?
Okay.
And people go, oh gosh, I don't know. Because we don't take the time to think about it. We are living very reactively and we're reacting to our circumstances instead of creating our circumstances. So when they figure out what they do want, then they start to write it into sentences, and then I teach them how to stamp it.
I see. Okay. So there comes the STEM method that you talk about right here, and you go in detail about why and how they should write it. So it's not just some sentences, but there's a specific formula to make it happen.
Yes, absolutely. So part of this is based on the law of attraction, The Secret, but it is a lot more practical and realistic, I think, than if you've ever read The Secret. I'm really taking it a step further, saying that yes, you attract what you think and what you feel, and also you can't just sit on your couch and expect to win the lottery. You still have to go buy a lotto ticket. So the action plan for me is what's missing in the law of attraction.
I see. And The Secret, are you referring that little book that was Oprah said she liked?
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, I don't know if I have it, because I read it. I remember I read it about 10 years ago.
Yes, me too. And so I start using those principles and visualizing what I wanted. And they said, if you want a new house, don't just sit and wish you had a new house. Imagine yourself in the new house. Go look at houses. Go get inside houses. Get pre-approved for a loan. Take as many actions as you can. And when you get to the point where you've taken every action you can think of, surrender it and let it go. Give it to the universe, and then move on. And that moving on is really hard for some people.
I see. And you just say, take it a step further to find a way to describe it intelligently in written sentences.
Yes. And so that you can really look back and find out, are my daily actions in alignment with what I say that I want? And that is why a manifesto is so powerful.
Okay, great.
It shows you the gap between where you are and where you want to be.
I see. And then you do pair it with an exercise. You teach how to write it. So we're going to write it obviously here in the second exercise. Great. And I assume you did this one.
Yeah, there's many drafts. I always say start on a scrap piece of paper, because I sometimes will edit 3 or 4 times.
I see. Because your ideal life doesn't come in one piece of paper, right? You just have to go through the thinking process of what it is that you actually want.
Right. And I always suggest about 6, because you should have a few that are career-based, a few that are maybe personal goals, whether that has to do with health or fitness, or whether that has to do with buying a home,
I see.
or a relationship. Maybe you
Mhm.
want to, find a man or find a woman.
Mhm.
So having that balance and setting that up in a way that is organized and you can visually see it
I
is
see.
why I'm saying this is going to increase your work-life balance.
I see. All right. That's a good point. It's not just about your family or your work. It's, you can create multiple sheets. All right. And then now we
Yes,
move on
people
to,
do a manifesto.
sorry.
Some people do a manifesto for each one.
Okay. Perfect. And actually this course can teach you all of those too. It doesn't have to be related to work or it can be related to anything you want to accomplish, even your finances.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. There's always a financial goal in everyone's manifesto. Absolutely.
Mhm. Wow. Okay. So module 3, I already feel inspired. So module 3, it says, get in touch with your higher self, identify and remove blocks and fears.
Yes. So in module 3, that's when I'm really taking people deep within to take a look around. I have them start to visualize this beautiful life that they wrote down, to see what blocks and fears show up. That's the wounded child stuff that they have not dealt with in the past. And I learned these techniques from my sister, who is also a coach. And they were so powerful. And one of the craziest things that her and I learned as we started coaching each other through these wounded child moments was that we grew up in the same bedroom, in the same home with the same parents, and had completely different experiences. So we understand the world by how we retrieve memories and reorder information into stories to justify how we feel. That was from the Adderall Diaries. You just had that slide up. And it is so true. We don't even realize how there is no truth to our memories. It's all about justifying how we were feeling and protecting that emotion. And it's like having a thorn in your leg that you're constantly trying to say, don't touch this, don't touch this. And it really detaches you from having deep, meaningful relationships.
Okay. I mean, all of that I think is true. I mean, I heard it, I read it many times, but it really is how you put it in your head. So you're helping people to really go back and understand why they put the pieces together like that. And from there, kind of understand what are the blocks and the fears.
Yes. And how to remove them as well.
Okay. You remove them and obviously you create, you manifest. I think it's a big word, manifest your ideal life.
It's the big word. It sounded so woo to me for so long. And now I know that it's just a fancy word to say create. And I'm a creator, I'm an artist, I'm a dancer and a saxophonist. So I love to create, and it's nothing more crazy than that.
Great. So it seems like here in module 3, you're taking it to helping people to really see their higher self, get in touch with their higher selves. And then we move on to 4. So the 4 is the finale, which is create an action plan that works.
Yes. So I played with a few different action plans with my clients over the years, and this seems to be the best one. You've got 2 different options. You can either write an action plan for each ideal or each goal that you write on your manifesto, or you can write a new action plan every 30 days and just put whatever is most important to you on there. So this is the great thing, you put it on your fridge, or I taped it to my bathroom mirror in the past. Whatever it takes to remind what it is you're supposed to be doing.
Okay, great. And, it seems like if I look at the exercise, it looks very simple. And I have my own versions of, this kind of exercise that I do with the goal, the purpose, and the action, and I see my results. And what I do, though, is actually I memorize it. So I force myself to memorize it, but then I repeat the same story every day. Or whenever I feel like there's a hurdle, I repeat this goal story, this 30-day action plan.
Yes, absolutely. And so I say set your alarm in the morning and hit snooze
Mm.
and sit and visualize all the things that you wrote on your life. Visualize them as if they've already happened and connect
Yeah.
with the feeling that you think you're going to have when you have the thing.
Yeah.
Don't wait to have the thing. You
Yeah.
have the feeling now, and
Right.
you're going to raise your vibrations so that you can attract more beautiful things in your life.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I mean, all of those are exactly what I always teach my students to as student RDH. And there's one, this is an actual study. It's one of in a famous book. It's a Harvard professor who did the study. But they did, so someone were taught to play the piano with an actual piano. Another person or another group were taught to play in their head. And guess what? Even though they played in their head, they developed the piano muscles on their hands. That's how powerful our brain is.
Absolutely. Our brain, our thoughts become things. They literally do become things. And so that's proof right there.
Awesome. So thanks for sharing what those, actual 4 modules were about. And on average, we called it, the 30-day manifesto, but how long does it take for an average person to finish this?
It takes about an hour a week for 4 weeks.
Okay. All right. And again, you can go back and change your manifesto if you want to, rewind the courses to understand, again, for example, what the STEM method is, to really understand that concept, or, just to hear your awesome voice as well.
Oh, yeah. Master manifestors like Sarah Clark, who had their entire ideal life list come true, or their entire manifesto come true. They often do it every 6 months to every year. They write a new manifesto.
I see. And
so do I. I'm on manifesto 7.
I see. And do you keep all of those?
I don't. Once they come true, again, it's about moving from the past. I don't hold on to the past. I'm always forward focused or future focused.
I see. Oh, very good. Okay. Because I always thought that you had to keep, what you had, but I guess if you moved on, there's no point. Why would you go back there when you are 5 steps ahead now?
Yeah, I see a manifesto app coming in the future so that we can keep track, and you can keep these things if you want, but I'm not quite there yet.
I see. I mean, Jamie always has a lot of great plans, and your sister, you both are like this, and you want to help people, a large group of people out there, and really help them be their better selves.
Yes, we started Sister Tribe together, and it's a Facebook page and a business. We're doing courses and live events coming soon, and our goal is to help millions of women learn to coach each other, because we find the value of coaching essential, not just in our own lives, but also in our sisterhood. It has enriched our relationships so much.
I see. All right. Well, I think with you, what's your sister's name?
Lisa Freitag.
Lisa Freitag, and you are Jamie. So Lisa and Jamie together, you are really creating a movement, actually, not just in dentistry here, but it applies to anybody out there.
Yeah. Female empowerment is our main mission.
Yes. All right. I love that. I love that part too. Right. We are, in a way, lucky to be born right now, in this 21st century.
We so are. It is the best time ever to be a dental hygienist. I say it all the time. I used to say it to my students. I would say, you guys are so lucky, you don't even know where we're coming from.
Yes. And I mean, it's the best time to achieve anything you want. There are hurdles out there still, but the word is, people know that the hurdles can be overcome now. And there's this big social movement as well to help women become their better selves as well.
Yeah, and to really connect with each other and really share, your real self and your vulnerability. The internet has just provided that. Social media has provided that, if we stay focused on the good that it does.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Jamie. I mean, I already feel like warm inside, and I have seen all the videos, because obviously it is in DentalToaster. And when I did it, I was actually in an airplane. I was going from the West Coast to the East Coast, something like that. I had like 6 hours or something to kill on the airplane, and I just did the whole thing. I could not stop.
Some people have told me that.
Yeah. I mean, that was my experience. And obviously I understand the concept of like doing it, pausing, thinking about it, writing. I think I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it that route. So it's, in DentalToaster, it's labeled like that. But then when I was in the airplane, I just did the whole thing because I just didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going to understand what my goals were and how I'm going to achieve that.
Yeah.
So that's how addictive it was.
Did you find that it had you dreaming a little bit bigger than you maybe would have on your own?
I mean, definitely helped me like understand some of the fears, even me right now, I'm doing this, like I have student RDH, I do inspire a lot of people in a way, but then, there's a lot of burdens that I carry as well. And it just helped me see them more clearly and understand that the goals, whether the hurdles are there or not, are just imaginary. And, there's more things to do.
Well, good. I am glad you shared that story. Thank you, because that absolutely is true. We think the wall's in front of us, but the wall's imaginary. So put it behind you.
Yeah. And, I discovered that the fears that I have are really literally in my head. There are people always who are going to, say some things, and there are going to be not awesome, there are going to be some negative things that come up. But again, what do you do with that? Or is that one out of like a million that comes in? Or are you going to be stuck in there? So
yeah, well, I always say it's none of my business what other people think of me, and it's not my responsibility how other people feel. And if you can live by those two theories in life, you really are going to be able to accomplish anything you desire.
Yes. And then, once you visualize it, you live it every single day. I mean, it's about to happen.
Unstoppable.
It's gonna happen. Right. So you do that, you are a professional coach now. You do that every day. Tell us what your life is like now.
Oh my gosh, my life is so amazing. Like I said in the beginning, I have to wake up and pinch myself. My day is, I don't wake up to an alarm anymore. I just wake up whenever I feel like it.
The
I get
sunshine in my face.
I
want.
Yeah.
Smell of the coffee.
Yeah, I get coffee and I check my Facebook and I see, who do I have scheduled for coaching calls. I'm in my yoga pants in my chair at home. I can take calls out and about if I have errands. I can work from Starbucks. I just feel so blessed to be doing what I'm doing. Coaching calls do drain me. I mean, being a coach can be emotionally and energetically draining, but I've learned techniques to protect myself and to keep my energy high through self-care.
Yes, because, I can only imagine the things that they pour, the students of yours pour to you, and you have to catch it. You have to elevate them. And that's a lot of work. It might not look like it, but, you have to navigate through their tunnels, through their hurdles to help them see the light.
So we're holding the space for them so that they can really take a deep, dark look at what it is that they didn't want to look at. and it's emotional. People cry, and you're supposed to cry in coaching, just like you're supposed to cry in therapy. Let it out. I can't tell you how many times a day I say, let it out. Don't hold it in anymore. And people feel so much better. So I just feel blessed to be able to help in that way, because I've seen people's lives transform and change, not just from coaching with me, but from coaching in general. And I think that it's the wave of the future. It's where we're headed.
I see. And obviously, I mean, everything is confidential as well. Everything's
we don't have HIPAA in coaching, but being a healthcare professional, it's the same as if we did.
Right. And I mean, the good stories are out there because we want to just magnify this positivity, and people are doing so willingly. So that is okay. But when anybody does a coaching with you, it is personal. It is confidential. If anybody out there has fear about that. Okay. And really the Facebook space is also voluntary. You do it if you want to share your goals. Okay. Yep. I'm so happy to hear that you're living your ideal life too.
I so am, and I continue to recreate it. I continue to go, okay, well, I said I wanted this, and now I have it. And the trick is, now that I have it, to feel gratitude for it still, not to just move on to the next thing, but to really revel in the feeling of gratitude every single day. I wake up and say, oh, I'm so satisfied. And that sets the stage. It's kind of like enriching the soil. It sets the stage for me to plant these new seedlings and continue to water them and continue to watch them flourish. And now I'm getting to teach my kids too, which is a huge blessing. And
your kids are younger too, right? So it doesn't matter what age.
They're 16 and 19. And if I would have learned this stuff when I was a teenager, I can only imagine what my life would be like right now. So
So any listener out there who has a teenage, girl or boy, even this can help them, because sometimes we don't want to hear our own parents, right? The message may be, in a way similar. You can do whatever you want. But then if there was a coach, and this course, the 30 Manifesto, is a self-taught course. So you don't really have anybody telling you what to do. It's already proven to work. And as long as you go through the process, teenagers can benefit from it too. I love it.
Yeah, I'm just guiding them through their own process, and they're using their own faith. Faith is a component of my program, but they're using their own faith, not my faith. I'm just helping them figure out where to tap into their own grace.
Okay. And one thing I just learned from you again right now is to sit on the gratitude piece.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, I don't think I do that enough. For example, this morning I had this awesome email from this. A student RDH, whenever they want an extension, I always give it for free. To me, the amount of time is not a problem at all. But anyway, she came with this awesome email that was like, you're just, I love it so much, things like that. And then, personally, because there's just so much work to do, I think I just forget. I read it, I'm like, okay, but then I move on too fast.
Right. Taking a moment to just soak it all in and feel all that gratitude for all your hard work paying off. You're affecting lives so deeply is huge. What's the point of all these goals if we don't celebrate them?
Right. All right, good. Well, I learned already something. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to be more grateful, I'm grateful to all the people out there, but I think sometimes I forget that I need to just sit on it as well, alone.
Yeah. And to celebrate, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. Celebrate myself, I know.
Yeah.
With a massage. That's all.
Yeah. Or a glass of wine.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Jamie. I mean, is there any last word of advice you want to give out there? You coach thousands of people. It's hard to pick one, but if you had to.
I think that if you just take time to go within, you're going to meet your real self. And if you haven't done that before, don't wait. Do it now. Figure out a way, whether it's this course, whether it's a self-help book, whether it's a meditation on YouTube. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have not taken the time to get to know the real you, what are you waiting for?
All right. And the answer is within you as well.
It is. It's not outside of you. When people can't figure out what their why is or what they want, it's because they're looking outside, not within.
All right.
All the answers are within.
All right. Well, I encourage anybody to try it. And as you said, it doesn't have to be this course. Anything like you have this book, The Big Magic, inside your course as well.
I do. I'm a huge fan of Liz Gilbert and Brene Brown. So yeah, me too.
I mean, that first book she wrote, Eat, Pray, Love. Yep. I read it twice, I think, at least.
And saw the movie how many times?
Oh my God. So, all the same kind of message here, Eat, Pray, and Love, The Big Magic, and this course as well, the secret book that Oprah loves. It's really just finding your strength. And you are, we all have a big person inside us. What can you give to the world? You have a purpose, so find it.
But also feed your own soul, because you're not going to find it without feeding your own soul. And so all of this stuff is meant to feed your soul. Healthcare professionals, we're probably one of the professions that do it the least. And we need it the most.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much, Jamie, for this conversation. And I know already we inspired a lot of people out there. And I wish you the best for you and your sister to continue Sisters Tribe, the awesome work you're doing for the women out there as well, so we can all accomplish our dreams and feel great inside.
Yeah, thank you, Claire, so much. I absolutely adore you. I feel so blessed to have met you.
Me too. I mean, honestly, this helpline thing, I never really thought about that I would be, involved in, but, I just believe in it. I mean, I benefited myself already. And if I do it right now in my 30s, if I continue doing that, what am my 60s? Like 30 years, I mean, there's so much to do.
You can't afford not to do personal development. We're all doing professional development, but what about the personal stuff? And really, as a RDH or a dentist, whoever's listening, you can't afford to not do the personal stuff.
And that's good for the patient and everybody around you as well, because you carry that energy.
Correct. It's going to make you more satisfied and happy with your life, which is going to spill out onto everybody you touch.
All right. Well, thank you, Jamie. I'm going to let you continue your awesome day. And
Thank you so much.
We'll see you again at Dental Toaster and Sisters Tribe and jamiedooley.com.
Thank you, Claire. Everybody have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.